universal basic income is being talked about a lot now. And with technologies like AI coming in and that could lead to joblessness, it might even be something that's happening sooner than later. That, to me, seems like even a step further of not only telling people you don't need property, but even saying, guess what, you don't even need an income, which means maybe you don't even need intellectual property, or you don't need to have any assets as a person that could support you in the future because the government will take care of you. And it seems like every one of these layers, you're giving up more and more control. And when somebody asks to pay that bill one day, you're going to find out how little control you have. Your thoughts on that, and then I want to talk about money.
Well, that's exactly my thought. And people don't realize that. We'll talk about money in a minute, but that takes us to the central bank digital currencies. But beyond that, the dream of a cashless society has always been very, very passionate in the minds of the would-be rulers of the world, particularly the bankers, because if there's a cashless society, then what is the medium of exchange if it's not cash? Well, we finally find out what it is. Nobody really knew what it could be. But in the last 20 years or 30 years, now we know. It's called digital. Digital currencies means they're electronic impulses somewhere, or electromagnetic remnants on little chips somewhere. What is that? Where is this money? We can't hold it. We can't stick it in a coffee can. We can't put it in the mattress. It's just somewhere out there. And so it's completely cashless. And whoever operates that system, who turns the knobs and switches the switches up and down, turns them on and off, and causes this person to have units and that person not to have any units, runs the world. Because they can cut you off of everything at will just by throwing a switch. And you will have no way to even eat or to sleep in a place that has a roof over it. You'll be on the street sitting on the pavement with a tin cup asking for donations, but nobody can donate because there's nothing to put in the tin cup. And if they are seen talking to you, they're going to sit on the cement next to you pretty soon with their own empty tin cup. And so nobody will even talk to you. That's the kind of system that they now call social credit that we're moving into very rapidly. And it's no accident. The people that are making this happen as fast as they can know exactly where they're going with it. And ultimate universal slavery is it.
All right, I want to get into CBDCs, but before we do that, maybe we talk about money, because this is something you've done a lot of work on, a lot of research on. The book that I mentioned earlier, The Creature from Jekyll Island, talks about, I think, the birth of the Federal Reserve. Let me say a couple things to you. So there's people listening and they say, look, I don't want to own property, but Ed, I got money in the bank. I got $100,000 in the bank and I can see it on my statement, and that means I'm okay. I don't need a house. I don't need other property, because that I know is going to be there. And I'm curious how you have that discussion with people about money. About 2 years ago, we went pretty heavy into the digital asset system, crypto, et cetera. And when you start looking at things like Bitcoin, what I find fascinating about that is that you see a parallel universe, and it allows you to analyze your fiat system even better, because you can look at it through the lens of something that's not controlled by a federal government, that can't be taken away by a federal government, that can't be printed more of. And a lot of the people in this space seem to see this very clearly. But a lot of people today don't realize that maybe that money in their bank is not worth what it used to be worth. Maybe that money in their bank can be taken away from them by someone in Canada if they show up at a trucker protest. And again, it comes down to, like, what does that property ownership mean? I always tell my students, you think you have money, but actually the bank has the custody of your money. And of course, the Federal Reserve has the control of that money. I don't want to put words in your mouth. How do you have that discussion with people about what money is? And what are your thoughts? And did I get something wrong?
No, I think you've got it all wrong, except one little statement that I might take objection against. You said something about it's your money. I think that was it. I don't know if you're aware of it or not, but a few years ago, maybe it took a few years to happen, but I think it was about 5 years ago, there were some laws passed at the insistence of the Federal Reserve to bring the United States into conformity with what's already a fact in many other countries. And that is the fact that up until that point, the money that you put in the bank was in fact your money. And they call it a deposit, meaning that it's your money, you're just depositing it there temporarily. And they have time deposits, for example, where you can ask for your money, but you say, well, we'll give it to you, but we're going to take a little time because it's invested, you know. And then they have demand deposits, which most people think they have or had. We can go in and demand your money, and it's your money, by golly, so you demand it, and they have to pay it to you. So that's the way it used to be, but about 5 years ago, it's not that way anymore. The laws have now changed that. And I haven't found one person in 100 who knows this, and that is that now the money, when you put it in the bank, is not a deposit. It may still be called a deposit, but it's not. It's now an investment. And it's like you buying a piece of stock in a corporation. Now it's their money, and you have no right to it. You said, in essence, I'm taking a gamble on the success of this bank. And if this bank succeeds, that's joyous. But if this bank goes corrupt or loses money and makes some mistakes or burns down or whatever, that's too bad. We lost our money, didn't we? It's not our money anymore. And it's even going to become less our money when it's finally digital, because they'll be able to throw a switch and just say, well, you did have 10,000 units, or whatever they call them, in your account, but since you violated this law, you now only have 50 units, or none at all, or it's temporarily on hold until we have an investigation, and you have no access to any of those 10,000 units, so you can't even buy a jelly bean, and while they check you out, you understand. So it's not your money anymore. That's important to know, and that's where they've always wanted to go, to make sure that nobody in the world has actual ownership of money. Why? Because money is property. Now to come back to the first question. How does this relate? Money is property if it is ownership of something, which if you don't own it, of course, it's not property anymore. So they're attacking it from both directions. Money is important because you can exchange it for a house or a car or a loaf of bread or anything else. So it represents all of the things you need for your liberty and your survival. So it's as good as having the weapons and the tools and the housing and the crops and so forth. It's as good as long as it's yours and you can swap it out anytime you want to. Now, when it's not yours, it's not even money anymore. It's something else. It's a control mechanism.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. I'm looking for partners, collaborators, colleagues who want to join forces with me around the globe and create real value, generational wealth, and financial freedom for everyone else around the world. Get involved in the cryptocurrency markets, get involved in the NFT markets. This is your moment. Life all comes down to a few moments. Don't let this pass. Now it's not too late. Next year is going to be too late.
Ultimately, this is about freedom. That's the way I see it. This is about giving power back to the people and enabling billions of people worldwide to use the financial markets to improve their lives and those of their friends and their families and their communities. Honestly, I think it's a violation of human rights not to allow people basic access to financial services. Because right now people are being kept in the dark, they're being robbed of education, and it's a travesty. And so I'm looking for people that want to join me and be a part of this solution. And that all happens inside the DeFi Academy. The gains my students are making are absolutely amazing. Double, triple digit gains in the first month alone. That's amazing. This will change your life. Now is the time to get involved. I'm going to tell you exactly how my students in my academy made money in the last 30 days. I'm talking about real trading results. And let me just whet your appetite a little bit. Let me hit you with some numbers. I'm talking Brendan from New Zealand is up 68.77% on the month. Steve from Europe up 83%. Albert in Singapore up 169.9% on one single trade. I got Susan up 153% on her call options alone. Also rocking 139% returns and 442% returns as well on individual trades. These are people that are changing their financial future in the last 30 days, but it's based on trading discipline.
I've graduated over 500 students from inside my academy from over 54 countries around the world. It's amazing. When it comes to crypto, DeFi, and blockchain, we love this space. We truly believe it's the future. This is down to our core. It's authentic to what we're doing, and everybody can tell through the camera because you can't make this stuff up.
If you're watching me now, wherever you are, I implore you, take 60 seconds right now and join my academy. Apply today. Now you've got a chance. Life all comes down to a few moments. What are you going to do? What's the choice that you're going to make?